When we talk about sexual abuse, it can happen to the females and it can also happen to males. In our environment, we think sexual abuse is only on the females. Males are also abused, but as a female, I was abused as a child and it was not a pleasant experience. I think that is the most important thing that the family sector should look into. I think as you are introducing your children to religion, you should also be introducing your children to their safety, to the safety of their body at every stage in life. Once that child is aware, can speak, can walk, once they learn their first language, whether it's mama, it's papa, I think the next thing you should do is start teaching them about the safety of their body, to start teaching them about where they should say no, where nobody should touch them. I think it's very important. It was emotions of rejection. I was torn apart when I was abused. I was 14 when I was abused. I was torn apart, especially with the fact that the people that were supposed to protect me didn't believe me. They were against me. It was like almost kicking me out, and it was a very painful experience. The emotion was bad because our environment, people tend to be stigmatized with such things. Instead of standing up for them, they get stigmatized. The same people that are supposed to stand up for them and fight for them are the people that would stigmatize them, and it's very, very painful. The religious sector did not stand up for me. Instead, they were the ones that judged me. Family stood up for me at some point, but in the beginning it was not fun. The environment did not stand up for me. They were the ones that had all the bad things to say about me. But then, in this kind of environment, in this kind of situation, I think the family unit is the most important, because it goes a long way to either mold or destroy that child. The way the child is treated when that child reports an abuse, the action of the parents, of the siblings, the elder siblings, it goes a long way. Most times, they want to shield it because of the, let me say, the stigma that would come out from it. And most times, shielding it is not the best thing to do. The religious sector should not be in a hurry to judge a child that have been molested. But I think the most important place to look into is the family unit, followed by the school, because these are where our children spend more time, the environment, they pick up more information from these places. So these are the core places that should really, really speak out for this child that have been molested. This process of healing was a long one. For years, I was bitter towards my mom, towards the church, towards a lot of people whom I thought would have stood up for me. But my turnaround came at some point when I looked and I said, yes, in the beginning they were not there for me, but somewhere along the line, they came through. I lost faith in God because of the role the church played in my story. But God raised someone in the person of Reverend Dr. Ubu of blessed memory. While I was pregnant as a teenager that was raped, he would always make out time to visit me in the house where I was locked out, not allowed visitors, so that people will not see me and see that I have brought shame to the house. He would always come, and whenever he comes, I will be told to run into the house, lock myself up. So you can imagine the feeling of being in your father's house as a refugee. And whenever he comes, you say, where is my daughter? Call her, let her come out. Don't lock her up. So whenever he comes around, we will see it, we will gist. He's a father. He has an only daughter who is my friend. And unlike every other person that cut their daughters off because I was seen as the bad egg, he did not stop his daughter from coming to see me. He did not stop our friendship. That friendship has stayed for more than 20 years. Yes, and we are still friends. When I had that baby, single-handedly, he took me and went and enrolled me back into school and made sure that my future did not finish. And at that point, I made up my mind and said, I will only be the one that will stop myself, and I decided not to stop. So I guess that was the motivation that kept me pushing. Each time I wanted to throw in the blankets, I remember those words and I fought hard. I work hard. I push to make sure I don't become what some people have looked at me to become. Me for one, I'm one of the people that don't pamper evil around me. I believe in saying no when I have to say no. I believe in saying stop when it is necessary to say stop. So if I see an adult doing some very not okay things around a kid, I won't wait for when it's late. You understand? Me for one, when I visit my sisters, for example, I don't allow her daughter to sit on the lap of uncles because that is how mine started. And it was very, very unassuming and nobody saw it coming. I ask because most times, all the time, you are not there. And seriously, it is very important that you know where you are taking your kids to. What is happening in our environment now? We hear very funny stories that a teacher that is grown slept with a 15-year-old boy. How? You know? So I think these are things that we should look into. I went to a boarding school too. It was an all-girls school. We had male teachers. And we heard stories of what was happening between the teachers and the students. So these are the first things parents should actually look out for when they are putting their kids in schools. Check out how your children are going to be protected. It is very important.